Real quick, the only ask I could ever have of you guys is to help spread the word so we can help more women lose body fat, build muscle, reach their goals, and feel insanely confident. And the only way we can do that is if you rate, review, and share this podcast. So the single thing I ask for you to do is if you could leave a review. It will take you 10 seconds. And it will mean the absolute world to me and may change the world of someone else. You don't become worthy when you hit that goal weight. You don't become worthy when you fit into a certain type of jeans. You don't become worthy when someone else validates your progress. Your worth is not something you have to earn. It is already yours. Hey, what's going on, you guys? Welcome to the Macro Hour with Nikkiey Stott, co-founder of WarriorBabe. And on this podcast, we talk about mindset, methodologies, and tactics that will help you lose body fat, build muscle, be strong, and feel insanely confident. I am your host, Nikkiey Stott, and welcome to today's episode number 223. And it is the first podcast that I'm recording this year. And boy, first of all, happy 2025. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday season. You had an amazing Christmas, Hanukkah, New Year's, and anything in between that you celebrate. And I hope you are ready for today's episode because this is something that I'm really excited to share with you. And I hope that if you are open and ready to receive today's message, at the end of this podcast, you will feel different. And you will carry on, hopefully, for the rest of this year, this type of energy of which I'm going to exchange with you here on this episode. With that being said, what I really want to talk about is something that my intuition was screaming at me in the month of December and it came out of nowhere. And once you really start silencing, and this is something that came, I'm on 100th day of meditation, but this is something that came to me from being able to sit in silence and being able to hear what my intuition is telling me. But basically, this book kept entering my brain. And I'm like, I don't even remember where I heard or saw this book in my space, but this specific book is called Worthy, and it's from Jamie Kern Lima. She is the founder and CEO of the makeup brand It Cosmetics. And what I want to talk to you guys about today is about worthiness, because I believe it is the foundation of everything that we do, not just in our fitness journeys, but also in our lives. And if I was to define a chapter of 2024, it was recognizing that I felt unworthy in myself, and I am working to reclaim my self-worth. And I'm going to dive into a little bit about that today. There's a specific chapter, I think it's actually chapter 1 of this book, and it's called Worthy Starts Here. And let me tell you, it hit me in the deepest way. It is all about recognizing your inherent worth, like the worth you've had since A1, day one, the day that you were born. And not because of what you achieved in life, what you look like, or how others perceive you, but simply because you are you. And there's something specifically in that chapter where she's like, no matter all of the things that you go through life, all of the accomplishments, the jobs, the marriage, the kids, the achievements, the body that maybe you get after you lose weight, all along the way, you take you with you. And I'm like, oh my God, that hit so hard. And I believe that ties directly into what WarriorBabe 2 is all about. We're here to help you become strong, confident, and empowered. Not because of some external validation, but because you're stepping into the version of yourself who already knows her worth. And if there's anything that I can say to over the last 10 years of being in my fitness journey, which is going to kind of come up in today's episode too as well, there was a point where I was probably most likely how you guys feel is when I hit a specific goal, I will feel happy. When I look a certain way, I will feel happy. And today I want to talk to you guys that you are already that. That starts here, that starts right now, and how embracing that mindset can truly transform not just your fitness journey, but your entire life. Because as to what I just said, like this truth it's hard to hear, but it's so real. And I've been in your shoes when I say this. You don't become worthy when you hit that goal weight. You don't become worthy when you fit into a certain type of jeans. You don't become worthy when someone else validates your progress. Your worth is not something you have to earn. It is already yours. But how many times have you guys felt like, and I know I felt this way, like we've attached our sense of worth to external achievements, external goals. Like we tell ourselves like I just said, like, I'm going to feel happy when I look this way. I'm going to feel confident when I look like that. Or I'm going to finally love when I achieve losing 10 pounds or when I achieve being able to feel good in a bikini. What Jamie Kern Lima talks about is like how we've been conditioned to believe that worthiness is tied to doing. And that hit home to me. She talks about, I believe it's in the first chapter too as well, the difference between self-confidence and self-worth. What I realized is that over the last 10 years, I have unwavering self-confidence. And you guys probably feel that in the way that I talk to you and show up to you and have poured into WarriorBabe and to poured into the clients that have come into the community. I know I have a high level of self-confidence. I know that I have skills that I've acquired over the years because I put myself in those situations to develop them. I have traits that I didn't once have, but I have now because of the situations I've been in. And I have a stature of confidence because of the things that I've accomplished with my body, with winning titles, with degrees. Like you guys maybe have felt, you in some way you've tied your worthiness to the doing of things, the achieving of things, to proving ourselves that we can do these things. I felt that same way. And I've always leaned on my self-confidence. But here's the thing. There's a massive difference between the two. Self-confidence is everything that I just said, but as soon as something hits that self-confidence or something like goes after one of those things and like you lose it, it plummets. It's the same thing with motivation and discipline. If I was to draw a parallel, your self-confidence is just like motivation. It ebbs and flows depending on external situations. Discipline is something that you inherently have regardless of your external factors that come at you on a daily basis, regardless of if you feel like doing something, like you just do it because you have a promise that you want to keep to yourself, essentially. Like you've made a promise and regardless of what's happening outside, time, kids, partner, X, Y, and Z, like you still show up for yourself. Self-worth is the same thing. Like it starts with you realizing that you're enough right now in this moment, just as you are, that you are lovable enough, that you are worthy enough, that you are enough, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. And as I said earlier, that was my awakening at the end of 2024. And I'm carrying it in here to 2025 and so beyond. But at WarriorBabe, like we talk about this all the time. Your journey isn't about becoming someone else. It's about becoming the strongest, most confident version of yourself. And like that version of you, like she already exists. She's already worthy. All we're doing is like peeling back the layers to let her shine. And you deserve to have your light shine. You deserve for you to know that you're already worthy where you are right now. It's just about what are the patterns or the behaviors, what are the narratives that are holding you back from being that most confident version of yourself? What are the situations, the people, the relationships that are constantly not reminding you of how worthy you are? Because it's external. You have to know that you are so worthy internal to know that nothing outside of you can shake you. So I think that's really like, that was one of the biggest things I took away in this book so far. And I'm only on chapter 2. And I was like, I feel like I need to talk about this in a podcast with you guys. It also helps me to just let you guys know, like I've been dropping little comments here and there in episodes. I've been going through things, and when I'm ready, I'm going to share it with you. And this is something that was really rocked me in 2024 and really brought me closer to myself when I started to honor my intuition and the things that were speaking to me and yelling at me. And, when you ignore things that are going on in your mind for so long, they don't ever go away. They just come back louder and louder and louder and louder. And you have to honor it, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it sends you into a spiral and you have no idea, where to go from there. Like you just have to trust in yourself. And if you trust in a higher power, trust in that in God that the plan is already played out for you. Anyway, I'm kind of going on a little bit of a rant here, but like, first of all, I hope you guys like, are staying with me and understand that. And it's not, this all ties into fitness. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So in the rest of this podcast, I'm going to help you guys understand, like, this is so essential for you and for your fitness journey. And if you are chasing goals from like a place of lack where you feel like you're not good enough until you reach that goal, like if what we just talked about, like, if you don't feel like you're happy now, you're chasing things from that place of lack. And I will tell you this right now, you are going to burn out. You are going to lose the motivation. You are going to lose the want to achieve whatever goal it is that you're going after. Like, you're going to lose the motivation in when your progress slows, or when life gets hard, or where you don't have enough time, because your goals are tied to the belief that you're fixing yourself. And let me tell you, you are not something that needs to be fixed. Like, think about that for a second. Like, let's unpack that a little bit more. I think a lot of women, when I think back to my journey back in 2015, when I first started to do it the right way, it was this inherent desire to look a different way, to have an external accomplishment. But I also was coming from the place of, I had just gotten out of a engagement. I felt broken. I felt uncomfortable in my own skin. But what really was beneath that was my sense of worthiness. I didn't feel enough. I wasn't enough. I felt like I was never going to be enough. You are already that right now. And you don't need to be fixed. So if you're coming from the place of like, oh, I feel disgusting in my skin, I feel uncomfortable in my skin, I'm not happy with the way that I look, I'm sad, I'm frustrated, all of these feelings, like, I want you to know they're entirely valid, but you also don't need to come from that place of like, you're broken. Instead, when you approach these goals from a place of like, I am enough, I'm worthy enough, when you recognize that you already are all of those things, you're no longer chasing something to prove your value. You're chasing something because you love yourself enough to grow. You love yourself enough to evolve. You love yourself enough to step into your true potential, into that highest version of yourself, into the most confident version of yourself. So for example, like, a lot of you guys listening to this episode, let's say your goal is to build muscle and to feel strong. I believe that is a lot of our goals, whether it's to lose 10 pounds too as well, or lose 20 pounds, lose 50 pounds. Like, if that goal comes from a place of worthiness, it's not about fixing yourself. It's about honoring your body and showing it what it is truly capable of. It's about becoming the version of you who wakes up every single day feeling energized and feeling confident and feeling powerful. That's why I think it's so important to also have like a why, and why I've talked about this in previous episodes, behind your goal. Because if your goal is to just, I want to lose 10 pounds, when you say that, there's an aspect of you that is coming from a place of lack and coming from a place of like, oh, I need to be like everything that we're talking about right now. Like, I need to be fixed. Like, something is wrong with my body and I'm broken. Instead, when you come from a place of like, what I want the perspective for you to change on is, you are already all of the things that you are already worthy enough. I'm going to keep saying that. That is so hard to grasp in the moment that you may feel like you are in right now, which is all of those emotions that I just said, or feelings that I just shared. But what I want to challenge you to do from a friend's perspective, friend to friend, is just to think different in that moment and to change the perspective that you have on yourself. Because when you can say like, hey, I am, and this is something that I'm repeating to myself over and over and over again for the last couple of months, is I am worthy, I am safe, I am lovable, and I am enough. And when you start saying those words, your mind will start to think differently. Your perspective will change. It will think of more of the energized, more confident, more powerful person that you are. And when you start thinking about the goals from that perspective, now you're just honoring your true you, where you already are and what you're fully capable of. Quick break. If you're finding this episode helpful so far, it would mean a lot if you could hit pause for just a second, leave a quick rating or a review, or share it with someone who could benefit from it. Your support helps more women discover these tools to build muscle, lose fat, and feel confident. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey with me. At WarriorBabe, this is something that I take so true to our brand. Is like, we don't just help you set goals. We help you set goals that are rooted in self-love and not self-criticism. That's the key to sustainability, not just in fitness, but in life. What I believe too is at WarriorBabe, we don't help you just say, here's your macro numbers, here's your workout programs to follow. Like, we understand the human that we're working with. A lot of you women are going through menopause, which is one of the hardest transitions in life for a woman to accept and to understand. You feel hopeless. You feel uncomfortable. You feel like it's like doomsday. Like, there's a lot of emotions that come up during that time for you. And if we can help you, like if we understand where you're coming from, which is a bit of what we've trained our coaches on being able to do and how to show up for you, then we can understand the human that we're working with behind the essentially computer, and be able to not just set these types of goals that you have in mind, but like get to the root of them, which is, what is the narrative that the human is saying behind the words, like when she's expressing her goals, or what we do on onboarding calls is like majority of the time the coach is like listening, but she's listening for these little, like, she's listening to understand. She's not listening to respond. She's listening to understand who she's working with. And when she hears these things that this human is saying in terms of anything that's like going against your self-worth or the things that we're talking about here today, I want these coaches to be able to do is pick up on that and then be able to deliver a way that's going to help this person sustainably reach their goals, because there's behavior changes that have to happen that come along with the habit changes. And when the person really knows, I'm going on a rant right now, but when the person really knows that, then they can create a full-on wholesome transformation. Not just like, let's go lose 10 pounds here, use your macro numbers in your workouts. Like I joke around with saying that, like, with working with our coaching team, you're working with life coaches too as well. And then also with the hormones that are changing at the surface level, there's these types of tactics and strategies that we can put into place that are going to holistically help you. You don't necessarily need to go on hormone replacement therapy or other things. Like, there's some things maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't want to, say you do or you don't, but there's other things that can support you along your fitness journey in what I'm talking about here right now. So what I really want to give you guys, because you guys know I love tacticals when it comes to the podcast, is, okay, how do you shift the narrative? Because a lot of women that I just talked about that come to WarriorBabe, they have these narratives. Maybe you guys listening to this have this narrative of, I'm not worthy enough. I'm not, I don't believe in myself. How do you go from chasing worth to embracing it fully? And it starts with this one simple belief that you are worthy right now, not because of what you've done or what you'll achieve, but because of who you are right now. Like I said earlier in the podcast, through all of the life accomplishments that you accomplish through life, you take the same you with you. So how can you upgrade that you right now? And one of the things that you have to do is you have to upgrade the narrative that is going on inside of your mind. So the first thing I want you guys to do is to rewrite the story that you've been telling yourself. If you've been telling yourself, I feel good about myself when I accomplish losing 10 pounds, or I feel good about myself when I'm going to go and put on my first bikini for summertime, I want you to flip that narrative. And instead, I want you to say, I am enough now, and I am becoming stronger, healthier, and more confident because I deserve it. And I become strong and healthier and more confident when I do achieve X goal, right? Because that is something that you need to honor right now. Like, you have to change this narrative that's going on inside of your head. From, I'm going to feel good when this happens, to, I am enough right now. And when I accomplish these things, I'm becoming stronger, healthy, and more confident because I deserve it. Because you do deserve it. And then the second thing is, you can celebrate the process, not just the outcome. I've talked about this so many times. One of the good parallels to this is from the Atomic Habits, is that focus on your systems, not on your goals, or something like that. I probably butchered that. It's not word for word there. I think it's actually like episode 1 or 2 of this podcast, or 2 or 3. But anyway, like, we're all about, at WarriorBabe, the coaches, the team, we're all about the process. Like, did you show up for your workout today? Celebrate that. Like, give yourself a freaking pat on the back. Did you make a choice that aligns with your goals today? Like, did you stay hydrated? Did you get your steps in? Did you do something that, you wrote down at the beginning of the year that you were going to keep the promises to yourself? Like, the small things, like getting my steps in, sleeping for 8 hours, reading before bed, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be this astronomical. That's what people side rant, why people don't accomplish their goal, or like stop midway through the first half of the year with their resolutions, is because they try and take on too many things, and they try and do this astronomical I'm going to change everything at the beginning of the year. And it's like 100 different things. And no wonder they can't freaking stick to that, because who can stick to 100 different things? So did you show up for your workout today? Cool. Let's go. That's amazing. Celebrate that. Like, being worthy isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up for yourself every single day. It's about keeping the promises to yourself every single day. And you don't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to happen every single day. But majority of the time, is it? Then great. Celebrate that. Like, don't just like strive for the outcome. Don't just be like, when I lose 10 pounds, I'm going to feel great, because I promise you, you're not. You're not going to feel good then. What matters is how you talk to yourself throughout the process. The third thing I want to say, and I've talked about this many times in previous episodes, but it's visualizing your higher self on a daily basis. Close your eyes. Like I talked about this in the podcast on realigning or how to align yourself, how to align your 2025 goals to your higher self, or one of those episodes. I think it was like 3 ago. But seriously, like, this is such a powerful tool that I think goes underestimated, is to visualize. It's just to take 5 minutes. Like, tell me you don't have 5 minutes for yourself on a daily basis. You have 5 minutes. 5 minutes is not going to make or break your day. Close your eyes. Picture the version of who it is that you are. Like, who is living the life that you want? Who is that person? I'll tell you this. She's confident. She's strong. She's unapologetically herself. See her. Feel her energy. Know that she's already a part of you. Like, if you can see that truthfully, your brain doesn't know the difference between time. Your mind doesn't know the difference between time. That vision's already there. It's already a part of you. You're not creating her from scratch. You're stepping into her. And then the way you step into her is all that I've shared with you guys. It's what you do on a daily basis. It's the actions that you take, the words that you say, how you show up for yourself. That's how you step into that person that you can see. If you can see her, she's already there. You just have to do more of what you see her doing, essentially. And then one of the last things I can say of like the tactical things to do how to shift this narrative. Again, I said, like, rewrite the story you're telling yourself, celebrate the process, not just the outcome, and then visualize yourself on a daily basis. The last thing is you need to surround yourself with supportive people. You need to be able to take how you're feeling and feel like you can confidently share that with people that are going to support you and either challenge you or uplift you or give you advice from friends' perspective. Like, that's one of the most powerful things that you can do, is surround yourself with people that empower you, that inspire you, that lift you up, that challenge you. And that's exactly what we do at WarriorBabe. That is exactly what we're here for. We're here to remind you that you are capable of everything that you deserve, and you are worthy of it all on the days that you even forget that you are. I think that's what's so cool about our community is there's women in there that you will see how you're on a similar path as them, given how you feel, your experiences, your environment, the situations you're in, and you guys are feeling the exact same way. At the root core of probably every single human being, we don't feel enough. And we don't feel worthy enough, and we don't feel lovable enough. And like, I want you to know that those feelings are entirely valid, but you can also change them. So after this episode, I want you guys to grab a journal. I want you to reflect on this specifically, this specific question. If I knew I was 100% worthy, how would I show up for myself today? Would you treat your body with more love? Would you fuel it with more nourishing foods because it deserves to feel strong? Would you prioritize that workout because you know that you're worth the effort? Would you get those 7,500 to 10,000 steps in because you know that it's a promise that you made to yourself and you're keeping it? And so that proves to you that you are deserving of all of the other things that you said you would do. Like, these are answers to these questions. Like, the answers to these questions are your guide, because when you lead with worthiness, when you lead with understanding that every choice becomes just a reflection of the love and respect you have for yourself, I watch how things unfold on a daily basis from there. So all in all, to say with this episode, you guys, today is you are worthy right now, exactly as you are. And your fitness journey isn't about proving your worth or fixing yourself. It's about stepping into, it's like I said, it's like you're up leveling the you that you are right now. And you're just turning her into a more empowered, more confident version of you. Like, the version of you, that person already exists. All right. So reflect, write down how you'll show up for yourself this week. Know that you're already enough. Know that you're already worthy enough. And remember, worthy starts right here, right now. Okay. Guys, I ask that if this resonated with you, I'm one person, you're many. So please go take this episode and share it with somebody who needs to hear this message too as well. And if you guys are ready to step into, I said it, as I said at the beginning of the podcast, like I want for everybody listening to this episode, I want 2025 to be your year. I want you guys to understand is that you can't do it alone. If there's anything I've recognized along my journey, I've always had somebody helping me along the way, whether it be a coach or a support system of friends or family, or whether it be in like even me right now, like I've been sharing with you guys on my Instagram of stepping into more faith, and I found a group to do it with. When there's two people, it says it in the Bible, it's like so much more can be done together. Imagine having 5,000 people behind your back, which is inside the WarriorBabe VIP. So I just say, if you're ready to step into that and have the support of the community that truly gets it, then check out WarriorBabe for coaching. The link is in the description below. Until next time, you guys, do these things. Reflect on these things, because if you feel like you are experiencing any of the feelings that I said in this episode today, if you don't do anything, you're just going to stay the same. But no matter what, right now, you are worthy enough and you deserve to be able to up-level who you are to get ready for the next stage of your life, whether it be life or fitness or a transformation that you're going to have. All right. Love you guys, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace out. Hey, really quick, before you go, I have one small favor to ask. If this episode brought you value or sparked something in you, take just a moment to hit that review button. Your rating and review make all of the difference, helping more women discover the tools they need to transform the fitness and their confidence. It takes less than a minute, but it can change the path of someone else's journey. Thank you so much for leaving that review. I appreciate you so much.